Hello, good evening and welcome to Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka. This evening, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry has identified access to cheap capital, stable power supply and flexible port charges as key determinants for industrial growth. According to the president of the chamber, Stefan Mason Abbas, the absence of these variables would derail the expected contribution of the sector to the overall growth rate of the country. He's been speaking to Joy Business.
Access to cheap capital is very important. Access to cheap capital is very important. The government should not crowd the business sector out of the market, out of the capital market. That's one. In the very recent times, we've experienced instability in electricity a little bit, but that is to the minimal. Then also, import issues at the ports, duties on raw materials are also escalating. We are expecting that with this IMF issues and the alignment of the VAT and all of that, some of these things would have come down, especially even with the COVID levy. But all of these things are still there. So some of these things are affecting the industry. So we cannot negate the fact that these things are conditions that the government has to look at and consider very much for industrialization.
When oil and gas sectors contributed about 20% of the country's gross domestic product in the first half of 2025. This was disclosed by the second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Matilda Santiesiedu. Although she admits that the contribution of the extractive sector cannot be ignored, she was quick to charge financial institutions to look beyond profit lines and ensure they lend to environmentally sustainable businesses. She spoke at a forum organized by the International Finance Corporation on sustainable banking.
To the Bank of Ghana, the country recorded a 73.6% compliance rate with green financing and sustainable banking standards as of Q1 2025. While the bank continues to implement enhanced sustainable banking frameworks, global institutions such as the International Finance Corporation, IFC, are also promoting industry collaborations to advance sustainable financial practices. Speaking at a forum organized by the IFC on sustainable banking, second deputy governor of the Bank of Ghana, Matilda Santiesiedu, urged financial institutions to look beyond profit lines and prioritize sustainable lending.
I was just doing the math. Between mining and oil and gas, in the first half of this year, contribution to GDP was 20%. So that's significant. It's the backbone that supports our economy. But it also comes with its own issues and risks. And as people in the financial services sector, our objective, obviously, especially if you're in a commercial environment as I used to be, is profit making. But this morning, I believe that as we start the conversations, we should also begin to think beyond quarterly results, beyond annual financials.
John Ewa, CEO of the Ghana Association of Banks, called for reforms that will make it easier for banks to lend sustainably.
Access to sustainable finance is often constrained by high perceived risk and limited long-term funding sources. This is where de-risking mechanisms become indispensable. We must actively explore and scale up tools such as partial credit guarantee schemes to lower perceived risk for both banks and investing in sustainable extractive projects. Political risk insurance and first loss capital instruments to protect lenders and investors against regulatory, environmental, or operational uncertainties.
Meanwhile, Yawande Jiwa, senior country manager at the IFC, expressed optimism that continued engagement would lead to a greener environment.
In IFC, we're guided by our IFC performance standards, which I'm sure you're all aware of. These guidelines are designed to help businesses and financial institutions identify, assess, and manage environmental risks effectively. Beyond risk, these guidelines open doors to efficiency, innovation, and long-term value creation.
The Bank of Ghana says it will continue to strengthen sustainable frameworks, including green finance, to promote a more resilient and environmentally sustainable financial ecosystem.
Labour expert Austin Game is calling for a shift from confrontation to collaboration between employers and workers, urging both sides to negotiate in good faith and uphold productivity as the true measure of fair play. Now, he warns that ignorance of labour laws and poor work attitudes continue to weaken industrial harmony and slow national growth. He was speaking at an event crowning the Golden Jubilee of Vanguard Assurance at Mutual in the Ningo Prampram district.
Dialogue at GNCCI Retreat Center at Mutual on the theme, The Attitude of the Ghanaian Worker and its Impact on Productivity and Economic Performance, was to crown the Golden Jubilee celebration of Vanguard Assurance. At the event, Ghana's labor expert, Austin Game, urged both employers and workers to embrace dialogue and fairness in resolving industrial disputes, warning that strike should be a last resort. The labor consultant says the law requires that all parties negotiate in good faith, sharing information transparently and focusing on mutual interest rather than confrontation. Here is labor consultant and chief executive officer of Game & Game, Austin Game.
So the employers make the time, put together their policies and programs, set targets for you and myself as working people, and we are enjoined to work because we have been given the tools, the equipment, the training, the development of skill, and so forth and so on. And so once we all produce, we know that we have made a profit of, let's say, 7 million. We can be able to operationalize the business in continuity. With that in mind, what it means is that both parties can now determine what they can share, what we can spend as cost to operationalize the business, what is left to be shared, and we share it proportionally.
Founder of GNCCI Retreat Center and Tema Regional Chair of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Gideon Amenyedo, has called for a mindset shift among Ghanaian workers.
The first one is keeping time. Ghanaian worker is always late, and he will tell you this Ghanaian time, African time. There's nothing like Ghanaian time. As a matter of fact, God created the world. The only thing he gives to everybody equally is time. You have 24 hours. The richest man has, the prophet has, everybody has that. And God knows why he did that. If you utilize that time well, you will be great spiritually, physically, you'll be the best, and you'll be excellent. But if, let's take it that you say, oh, Ghanaian time, at something we're supposed to start at 10, start at what, 2 o'clock. Where are we going? Every day, wasting 3 hours, 4 hours. You know very well that where you live, there is traffic. If you can wake up 10 minutes ahead of the traffic, you get to work early. You wait and join the traffic, spend 3 hours late daily. So these things affect you yourself.
Meanwhile, President of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Stefan Miezan, reflecting on the theme, emphasized that national progress depends on work ethics, not luck or religious devotion.
And I'll use the most recent countries that have developed and achieved more in the last 40 years. I'll give 2 countries. The state of Dubai and the country of China. In the last 40 years, the transformation these 2 countries have achieved surpasses the oldest democracy in the world, which is maybe the British or the Americans. In the last 40 years, the transformation they have achieved. And it has not been on religion. It has not been on magic. It has been on the attitude of the citizens of those 2 countries to ensure that their country becomes better.
The dialogue was a partnership between GNCCI Retreat Center, Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and Vanguard Assurance.
The Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, DVLA, says it will commence a pilot phase of the re-registration of new number plates from December 15. The new design plates would have a regional identifier at the top of the plate and an area code at the end of the plate, making it easier to trace a vehicle to a specific place. More in this report.
According to the DVLA, all the necessary legal groundwork for change in number plates have been completed and will be laid in Parliament when the House resumes. Acting Director in charge of driver training, testing and licensing at DVLA, Kafui Semevo, highlights some of the key features on the new number plates.
The background map you see is a map of the registration region. So if a vehicle was registered in the Greater Accra, that is the map you see. Now you see a round circle there. That space is for biannual renewal stickers. The law requires that we undertake biannual renewal of vehicle registration numbers. It is a way to identify which vehicles have been written off and which vehicles are still active in the database. Currently, if we give you the number of vehicles registered, that is cumulative. So there may be some vehicles within that number that are actually not on the road again.
The Chief Executive Officer, Julius Nikwe Kote, said the new design removes the old practice of placing the registration year at the end of number plates. He stated that the new plates have been enhanced with technological features that will help identify vehicles and their owners in real time to enhance road safety. He added that the process has been well thought out ahead of the full implementation in January 2026 to prevent overcrowding at DVLA offices.
How we are going to enroll it will let the public embrace it or reject it. And as I told you guys or indicated to you earlier, we've engaged most stakeholders. They are in agreement with what we are doing. We are going out to engage the public from here, and we hope the public will embrace, because it is your security and my security. The security of the state must always be paramount. So that is what Ghana loses a lot of money because of smuggling of cars. My brother, there are 25 illegal routes by which people used to bring cars into the system. And when you are paying duty, and I'm not paying duty, but yet we are calling for development, how does it sound? Everyone in this country driving a car must ensure that that car he or she is driving, duty has been paid on it. And it is a way to check that. It is a way to check our security system as well. Someone steals a car from you. If the car is really registered with DVLA, and I type the car number, I'll be able to tell you where the car is. And it is only with DVLA. Till the court gives us any order, it is only with the DVLA.
Two key players in Ghana's retail and distribution sector, Ramifex Company Limited and its subsidiary Fairway Supermarket, are supporting this year's Big Street Feast with thousands of food and drinks to be donated. Head of Corporate and PR for Ramifex, Abigail Ofosu Entry, says the move aligns with the company's commitment to giving back to society as part of its corporate social responsibility. The initiative, spearheaded by Chef Abe, aims to feed and uplift people living on the streets of Accra as part of activities marking World Food Day.
And Fairway Supermarket have joined forces to support this year's Big Street Feast, a major initiative providing nutritious meals and drinks to people living on the street of Accra. Head of Corporate and PR at Rafimex, Abigail Ofosu says the company considers it a responsibility to give back to the communities that have supported them over 2 decades in Ghana's retail and distribution industry.
As a business, we do believe that giving back to society is what is indicting on us. We love to give back to the society that we have come out from. We believe that giving food brings people together, it creates solidarity, and so for a program like this, and with the work that we do, we are giving over 15,000 cans of Lucozade, 15,000 loaves of bread. We also have this Samyang noodles. We are giving 3,000 packs of it. Also for Ahmed Tea, we are giving 15,000 cups to anyone out there who needs to eat. And what we actually are saying is this: today is World Food Day. The way that we get food, the means that our food is coming, we need to protect those places where it's coming from.
For the organizers, the turnout exceeded expectations. Marketer for Chef Abi's team, Daniel Abuhaji, says beyond feeding Ghanaians, the initiative highlights the importance of food security, hygiene, and collaboration across Ghana's hospitality sector.
One thing we want to really drive is that to let people really know that you don't just have to eat. Just make sure that you are more particular about the food that you eat, which consists of the environment. You get it. So food security is very key to here, making sure that whatever that you eat is very key, clean and nice. So if you take a close look at this activity today, we are more about particular about food security, making sure that FDA is here, making sure that the necessary authorities are here to see to it that every individual is certified. That's one. And two, also making sure that every individual eats properly.
At the Big Street Feast event, some participants expressed their appreciation for the initiative, saying it offered not just free meals, but also relief in difficult economic times and has brought smiles and togetherness among residents.
I'm really excited because today I didn't spend a penny over here. Everything was free, and if this is being organized more frequently, I think it's going to help those on the streets as well. And I'm really happy a lot because I could see a lot of smile on people's faces, and it's really interesting. And yes, I'm having fun a lot.
For it being free food, me myself today, I decided to buy a food today. And then after campus, most of my friends told me that there is a free food going on somewhere. So for me to save that money, I decided to come here so that I can get myself this free food. And then also, I think most of people living in Accra are those, let me say, they don't have money to be able to buy this food. They can't afford it. So when certain are being held here, I think most of them can be able to come here as well to enjoy this.
The Big Street Feast continues to inspire unity and compassion as corporate partners, volunteers, and individuals work together to promote food security and hope for Ghanaians.
Still on World Food Day, we know food is essential for survival, yet millions face empty plates daily. Modern farming solutions like climate-smart seeds, advanced equipment, and skilled labor hold the key to transforming food systems. Legacy Crop Improvement Center, based in the Eastern region, is on a mission to boost food security by producing and distributing high-quality and climate-resilient seeds. Could this be the turning point in the fight against hunger? As World Day, we mark Food Day today, we bring you this special feature.
From a bold idea in 2016 to a national agricultural asset in 2025, Amos Rutherford Azinu, founder of Legacy Crop Improvement Center, is planting more than seeds. He's sowing a future of food security, farmer empowerment, and agricultural excellence.
This is our one of our seed foundation farm. We do a lot of research in this farm here. So currently we have the cowpea, the new cowpea that we are breeding, and the maize variety that we are crossing. So basically this farm was created 10 years ago for research purpose, where we identify a good crop and we do the trial here. Those that we have to cross, like maize, hybrid maize, we cross both male and female to determine the hybrid one which is acceptable to the market. Then we do other trials before we carry out the commercialization to the farm. So this farm is actually made for research purpose, and currently we have the cowpea and the maize variety that we are testing for commercialization.
We are at Otariso in the Eastern region, where Legacy Crop Improvement Center is located. There, Amos is pioneering a new era in hybrid seed production with cutting-edge facilities and bold innovation. Central to this success is the role of research in developing climate-resilient seeds that can withstand the growing challenges of a changing environment.
Oh, you know, in life of crop, it's like a marriage between a man and a woman. So every crop has both male and female. So we have to identify which male will be good for which female. It's like a beauty pageant. So when you are married, you are looking for a woman, you go and look for some characters that are very beautiful. So we do the same thing. But in this case, the plant don't select their partners. We do the selection for them. So because we know what we are looking for the market. So we do that and we cross them. When they give birth, then we try to see whether their children carry the kind of desired trait that we are looking for.
Amos highlights some challenges encountered on the seed foundation farm.
Number one challenge that we face here is erosion because of the slope nature of the field. So every year we have to get the backhoe machines to make sure we put the land in a good shape to avoid erosion of the topsoil, which is the good organic matter that we need for our activities. So our bigger challenge here is erosion, but as you see, we are able to control it by make sure constantly we are creating the gutters and keeping the farm in shape. After this seed, we are going to take it to the lab. We are going to look for some characters, the purity and everything before. Then, if it's good, then we started the processing for commercialization.
So how are the seeds faring on the market?
I think that the maize has the most market present, because even if you take us our people, about 90% of the household this morning we may have consumed maize-related products. So maize is the number one. But what is catching up these days is the cowpea seed. You know, normally the boys call it gobe. So formerly the farmers don't buy that seed for planting, but these days you see a lot of farmers calling you, I want to plant this, I want to plant this. So that market is also shooting up, but the maize is still leading in terms of the market.
Legacy Crop Improvement Center works closely with farmers and other relevant stakeholders to ensure that the seeds developed are well adapted to local conditions and meet the practical needs of those on the front lines of agriculture.
Our product that we develop here, the farmers are the ones that select the product. We have a lot of product in the pipeline through our research. So every year we do what we call stakeholder meeting. We invite them to our farms, then they come and select. Then they will have to go to that process of registration also to make sure these varieties are in. We also call our agri extension officers and directors. They also come and give us the feedback the farmers are giving on the product so that inform our breeding objective or research objective, what we should do next from that. So we work in hand with every stakeholder along the seed value chain.
The seeds are also bred to be pest resistant, significantly reducing farmers' reliance on chemical pesticides and promoting safer, more sustainable farming practices.
We are trying to reduce the use of chemicals in the farmers. That's why these days we are looking at the disease-resistant, pest-resistant varieties so that farmers don't end up buying a lot of chemicals. It's not only affecting the environment, it's also affecting the health of those farmers. Because if they indiscriminately use it, then it's actually... So if we can get a new variety of maize that is 4-armyworm resistant or cowpea that is resistant to major pests and diseases, that's going to be a plus and a good news for farmers so that the farmers don't spend a lot of money buying chemicals and at the end of the day be exposed to those chemicals that cause a lot of cancer and other disease to them.
Next time, we learn more about the seed certification process and how Legacy Crop Improvement Center is turned into vegetable seed production.
Basically to talk about chili, tomatoes, and okra in Ghana. Because when you look at the vegetable industry, you realize that it's actually importation. It's zero. We don't do local production here. So we have gone to agreement with the World Vegetable Center. They are giving us some lines, the seed to do a local trial. Once those varieties survive here, we can now start the multiplication of those varieties. So it's also going to make these seeds available in the cost will be more lower than what we used to import now. So that's one of the good news we are bringing to the system. We are also hoping to scale up whatever we do here in terms of our maize seed production by expanding our facility to make sure we deliver high quality seed to farmers in a few years to come.
Stay on to watch Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka. Prime Sports is next.